Daniel Rose is a former U.S. Navy pilot and aviation attorney. He joins me now. Daniel, Boeing 737, that was this flight. There are nearly 6,000 of them in service right now. A lot of folks are obviously concerned. It's incredibly scary, this idea that an engine can explode midair and break a window and suck a passenger out. Should people be nervous?
Well, everybody should be concerned about this happening. It happened 2 years ago. It happened again now. Not all 6,000 737s have the same engine on it, but just conceptually, the engine has to be designed to contain the innards of the engine if something goes wrong, whether it's a bird strike like today, or a fan blade breaking like yesterday, or fan blade breaking 2 years ago. The fail-safe is keeping everything inside the engine so that shrapnel doesn't go flying in all directions, including towards the passengers, as we saw yesterday.
Are you confident that an engine inspection of engines like this will be enough to contain that?
Well,
is this just a freak accident?
Well, it's not freak if it happened, twice now in the last 2 years,
wow.
and that's just when it was a lack of containment. We don't really know the full scope of it. It could have happened, and the containment system worked on other instances, but that would be indicative of a problem with the design, or perhaps a bad batch of blades, or a lack of proper inspection, or the use of the engine. Southwest has kind of a unique use in the sense that they do a lot of short flights very frequently, so it puts a lot of stress on the engines, including the fan blades.
The pilot, a woman named Tammy Jo Schultz, a former Navy pilot, is getting a lot of credit for bringing this plane down safely after this happened. What is it like? What could it be like? I'm not saying you've been in this scenario. What could it be like to be in her shoes when something like this happens?
Well, that's what you get paid to do. That's where all the training that you got in the Navy and at Southwest kicks in. And certainly the proof's in the pudding. The plane was safely on deck. You have to be very concerned in a situation like this as to how the aircraft performs in flight. Because there was a lot of damage done to that engine, a lot of damage done to the wing, and the plane, you essentially become a test pilot. So it's very important to make sure that you check the way the plane flies at a landing speed and a landing configuration before you get close to the ground.
Not to mention getting that plane down to a level where the pressurization wouldn't be an issue for the passengers. Right.
That would be the first responsibility, is to get the plane down to close to 10,000 feet so that you don't have to rely on the oxygen.
Retired Navy pilot and aviation attorney Daniel Rose. Daniel, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.